Good morning. Welcome to North Dakota Today. I'm Christy Larson here with Chris Berg.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Good to have you here. You feeling better?
Feeling better.
Good. That's always nice to have. All right, so this morning we're going to talk about a novel that talks about the side effects of PTSD. It's this one right here called Hidden Wounds, and this causes a lot of impacts that many people just don't really realize or understand, and so it should be interesting to hear what this gentleman has to say. And then you're going to show us how to keep our skin glowing.
That's right. So I'm going to be talking about that skincare, getting ready for springtime. Plus, Aji Berg is going to be back talking about transitioning your closet from all of that winter wardrobe we have going into that spring season. So that is all coming up.
Sorry, Jaron. I know your Amex car is going to get loaded up because you got to do the whole spring thing.
Oh,
and
I just love shopping.
And Jaron can be like, God darn it, Berg.
Darn it, Berg. Stop inviting her on TV.
Speaking of the spring, it looks like we may kind of get a taste of it this week. Lisa, what's in store for us?
Guys, it is looking and feeling a little bit more like spring in the afternoons, at least. It's kind of cold still in the mornings, and you have to dress for winter in those morning hours. But we're looking at some 30s ahead of us this afternoon. Temperatures into the low 30s for your high today in Fargo. We'll have 33 degrees and mostly sunny skies. You can see we do have some clouds out there and a little bit of fog greeting us this morning too in some spots. The wind is light and will remain so throughout much of the day with wind out of the south. Here is a look at our temperatures. We're at 9 currently in Fargo, 8 in Grand Forks, so still pretty chilly. Boston, your coldest temperature at 3. Also Devil's Lake sitting at 3 degrees too. Fergus Falls is at 18. Visibility. So we've had some up and down visibility reports here in the valley. Where we're at 10, that means we've got good visibility. Elsewhere, we are seeing 4 miles in Hallock, 5 in Valley City. So there's still some hints that there's some fog out there this morning with light winds. Again, variable. You can see those arrows are all over the place on the map. Generally speaking, though, we'll end up with a southerly wind coming up for later on. And we have some clouds streaming into northwest Minnesota, otherwise looking clear here in the valley. So not bad today. And here's a look at your photo. This is in the Thompson area. Frosty trees, just a really pretty wintry scene here in Thompson. And we're looking at a barn there that's looking a little frosty too, hiding behind the North Dakota Today banner there. So a nice photo here with some areas still looking very wintry, but the warmer temperatures this week little by little whittling away at that snowpack. So tomorrow we get another little surge of warmth and many places getting into the upper 30s and a few of us hitting the low 40s. And as we progress through the week, more and more of us seeing 40-degree temperatures. That changes this weekend. We do have some more unsettled weather taking over for St. Patrick's Day. I think mainly still looking dry, though can't rule out an isolated shower. And into Sunday, we'll see that chance for snow and rain ramp up into Monday as well. So some changes in the forecast, but not for a while. We've got several awesome looking days here this week, including today with some 30s on the way. So maybe dress in layers. You'll want to put on that winter coat this morning, but later on, maybe not such a heavy coat needed, especially as warm as that March sun is feeling.
I'm feeling like a lot of people are hoping that 41 can kind of increase a couple degrees going into the St. Patrick's Day parade and all the festivities that are happening around the area.
Yeah, we've had some parades that have been a lot colder than that, but we've had some really nice days for those St. Patrick's Day parades too. Yeah. So we're kind of in between right now. Hopefully we can just at least hold off the precipitation.
It does help though. The more people that come to the parade, the more packed
there you go.
You
get packed in.
You feel good.
Feel it. The heat's all there,
I love
and
that.
so should be fun. You going to be there at the parade, Larson?
Oh, I'm going to be at the parade celebrating. I'm a little embarrassed because I think Jaron said he wants to wear his kilt
out
on Saturday. So if you see me walking with a man in a skirt, that's my husband. I'm a little nervous about it.
Wear it with pride, Jaron. Thank you very much, Lee.
You bet.
All right, our Fargo Forest Buffalo Wild Wings 4-pack giveaway continues. We're going to say congratulations today to Carrie. You received the 4-pack, which includes 4 received seats to a Fargo Forest game, 4 vouchers, each good for 1 small fountain soda, 4 vouchers good for a small popcorn, plus a voucher for a free shareable at Buffalo Wild Wings with a purchase. You also can continue to win by going to register at valleynewslive.com or ndtoday.tv.
We're also going to be giving away tickets to the Illusionists presented by Exceptional Artists. Each winner is going to receive a prize of 4 tickets to the show on Wednesday, March 21st, next week at the Chester Fritz Auditorium in Grand Forks. All you have to do is register ahead of time. valleynewslive.com or ndtoday.tv. And you have to register for each contest you want to win in. So even if you felt like you've been online, just do it again.
Yes.
Doesn't hurt.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And hopefully you will be a lucky winner as well. All right, I'm pretty stoked to share this news with you. I really grew a strong affinity for this guy over the course of the past Vikings season, Case Keenum, just to watch him be an underdog and his faith and him expressing that so well and talking about his journey. Well, because I'm a Broncos fan, he's now going to be signed by the Denver Broncos tomorrow, which should be fun to watch him in a Broncos uniform, which, you know, apparently we don't know yet what that's going to mean for the Vikes, but Omniscient Tony was saying that Drew Brees got signed by the Saints, so it does look like they'll be spending a lot of money on Kirk Cousins, which I know you're not a huge, you know, football analyst, Larson, but does Kirk Cousins take us to a Super Bowl victory?
I have no idea.
She's like, who's Kirk Cousins?
He was not on my fantasy league team, so I don't know very much about him.
I don't know if he's the guy. I guess when you got a great defense, we'll see. But if you're into the NFL, things are going to heat up now that free agency is starting to obviously kick off in the quarterback race. And who knows, maybe the Broncos, Vikes trade up and try to get, like, you know, Mayfield from the Sooners, or you're like, whatever, Berg, let's move on.
Well, I'm trying to follow, but again, if you weren't on my fantasy team,
then you're like,
that
I
I had
have no idea.
last fall, which I proudly got 3rd place out of everyone. But if you weren't on my fantasy team, I didn't know very much about you or on the Vikings.
That's fair.
That's
I
it.
mean, I get it.
My dad is a huge Vikings fan. Family is. And then Jaren's a Bears fan. So if you weren't on the Vikings or the Bears or my family or my fantasy team, then I don't know very much about them.
More than fair. Just like last week, or maybe it was Monday. I don't know when it was. But when I know nothing about The Bachelor, then, you know, understandably so.
I think that was last week when he picked his winner, and people were not happy about that. Did you know people do fantasy leagues for that?
No.
For The Bachelorette? Yes. Lisa Green, haven't you been part of that before? Yes.
She's
see?
like, oh, yeah.
Yes. People do that where they like
Do you want to
draft
announce
different
that publicly for real, Lisa?
draft different bachelorettes and then they get to pick them. You haven't done it for a long time, right? So, but one of our old producers, Danielle, loved The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and she would. I'm pretty
Become
sure
a fantasy player
she would
on the
want
team or
to do
whatever?
that with people. So if you need any fantasy bachelorette
So what
party
would you would
people,
like try to guess who was going to get the rose or what?
I have no idea how.
Oh,
but it's
whatever.
like
You're trying
bracket form. I don't remember. Was it brackets? Yeah, like March Madness basically, but for Bachelorette. But it was like fantasy league for them. I don't know. It was funny to hear about. Also very cool to kind of say hello to someone who you might recognize, Moorhead native NHL star Matt Cullen. He made a large donation to help kids in the community. The Cullen's Children's Foundation gifted $100,000 for new neonatal intensive care unit wing at the Essentia Health Hospital in Fargo. Now, the Cullen's Children's Foundation Critical Care Wing will be part of their brand new NICU being built at the hospital. Current unit has open setting with 10 beds separated by curtains. New space will add 9 more beds, bring a total number to 14, and there'll be private rooms. So I know a lot of people have been loving the new Sanford Hospital. So here you go. Now Essentia's kind of stepping up their care too, which I think is important.
Matt Cullen's awesome. I mean, he just, you know, the hockey rinks that he's put in place, obviously with Sanford, now Essentia, and oh, by the way, the Wild have got it, you know, they're winning a ton of games at the Xcel Energy Center, so that's kind of nice to throw that in there as well. So good for him.
You know what I heard, though? I heard that the players don't get along very well.
For the Wild?
Yeah. I heard that there are some players who don't get along very well, and especially with one person. And I don't want to ruin that person for people, but I heard that he's nice to media so that he seems like a nice person, but he's not very nice. And it's not Matt Cullen, so you don't have to worry about that. But a different one who is a star on the Wild is not very nice to some of the other guys.
Can you reveal your inside source? Do you have an inside source?
No. I can neither confirm nor deny these accusations. I heard it. My dad was talking about it, that they were talking about it down in the cities, and that
I thought like you had.
They had heard someone who was in there saying that the guys don't get as along this year as in past years and stuff. And I think that's a big part. Maybe they're getting along more now, and that's why they're doing better and getting more wins. You know, you got to like each other both on and off the rink to be able to.
Typically, that's
win.
how it goes, unless you're just, uber talented. But most of the time, especially hockey guys, I think the one thing I love about hockey guys, they seem to be always the most humble. Like you watch hoop guys or football guys, and it's always like me, 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 me. And hockey guys are like, hey, I just happened to be in front of the net. Dude fed me the puck, and I put it in the net. You know what I mean?
What, didn't our USA Paralympic hockey team just get a big win the other day? I saw someone make a really awesome goal. Brody, now I can't think of his name. But we should do a medal count for the Paralympics, because I was just watching the NBC Olympic Instagram, just being like, oh, this person got bronze, this person got gold, this person got silver.
Nice.
And I haven't been watching it as much, so I need to go on there and take a look at that.
I gotta see if we can hook, was it Bryn back into it? Was it Bryn that's over there?
Yeah, Bryn's over in Pyeongchang.
Let's get her back in the mix and get some stories from her. Also, this is great news. Fargo ranked in the top 10 of the happiest cities in the entire world. No, country. Bismarck was second. St. Paul was 19th. What? Fremont, California was first?
Now, the study is based on a number of metrics, including strength of social ties, separation, divorce rate. Now, Fremont, California ranked #1 on the list for that. The first Minnesota city to pop up on the rankings was St. Paul at 19, which I think is kind of interesting. Fargo's 6th, though. What was #1?
Fremont, California. Is that what you mean?
Oh, I thought it was first in just like the divorce rank or something.
Oh.
Like no one gets divorced in Fremont. There we go.
So wait a second now. Bismarck was the second happiest city in the entire country? Am I reading this right?
I don't think they're the happiest.
Wow, good for Bismarck. And then Fargo
think
coming in at
Fargo's
#6. And then North Dakota recently was ranked #1 for quality of life. So
We do pretty darn well in a lot
we
of
did
those.
really well. in
Although
those
my
things.
dad did laugh this weekend. He's like, so North Dakota
I know,
beat
I
out
know.
Wisconsin in the drinking. And I was like, oops, I blame our population size for that. We don't have the population size to outweigh all of the colleges we have in the area.
Oh, no. Okay. All right, let's move on to something else. I'm going to let that one just sort of dangling from one of Greece's largest bridges. An aerial dancer says her performance is meant to draw attention to the financially struggling country. Yesterday, she danced suspended above the blue waters of the Gulf of Patras. All I know, I wish that was me right there above some nice blue water. Separates the southern Peloponnese Peninsula to central mainland Greece. The event was part of a string of performances she's given suspended by long fabric strips from bridges, cliffs, and gorges under the title, Greece Has Soul. That was nice of you to fly back this morning after doing that, Christy. I appreciate that.
That's beautiful. My one friend does do aerial dancing, and I just love to watch all of her tricks and everything that she does. And one of the things is it takes so much strength. So I can't imagine doing it like this, where you're suspended from a bridge, putting on a performance, because it takes so much work to do all of those moves and keep your body up there. So I can't imagine doing it for a long time. I wonder if she would do it. I'm gonna have to Instagram this to her and ask her, or send it to her on Facebook and ask her if she would do it. But yeah, it's so beautiful. I always think it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool to learn and do. And then I tried it one time and I'm almost like, I have no strength whatsoever.
You're like, okay, this isn't going to go very well. All right, stay with us. We got a great guest coming up talking about a book he's written about PTSD, plus keeping your skin glowing.